Hey friends, my name's Sophie and welcome to your 30-minute beginner yoga class. Today we're going to be working to improve our flexibility, strength, and balance. This is a well-rounded, full-body class, so we will get started right away in tabletop. So you come onto the hands and knees. Your wrists are right under your shoulders, and your hips are right over the knees. Check in with your hands when you get here. And make sure that the fingers are spread and you're pressing down right through the insides of your knuckles. So just that way you have a good grip on the ground. And then take a few cat-cows. So the way we do that is we drop the belly and lift the chest by drawing the shoulders back. And as we exhale, we round and curl the spine. Chin goes into your chest. Inhale, your belly goes down, your chest opens up, you can look up. Exhale, we round and curl. One more time. Inhale for cow by dropping the belly, lifting the chest. Exhale, push away from the ground for cat, like an angry cat. Round your spine. Return back into a neutral spine. Bring your knees wide and bring your feet together for a child's pose. Forehead to the earth. Crawl your fingers as far forward as you can so you get a nice shoulder stretch here, and we lengthen through the sides of the body and the upper back. And take 3 deep breaths in and out. Breath in, breath out. One more time, in and all the way out. Rise back up into tabletop. Then tuck your toes and lift your knees and hips for downward facing dog. Now, down dog might not feel very comfortable for you when you're first starting out your yoga practice, and that's completely normal. Just do your best to lift your hips high. Now let's shift our weight into a plank. So come into a plank pose. And in plank, you have one nice straight line from the head to the heels. You want to make sure that your hips aren't high, that you're not sinking down between your shoulders either. They have a nice strong plank. From plank, lift your hips back into down dog without walking your hands back. That's a good way to kind of measure the distance of down dog. And then if you're still feeling really uncomfortable, you can slide the hands back an inch or two. Bend the knees generously. Keep the heels lifted off the ground. It's not our goal to get the heels to the ground. And again, tailbone to the sky. That way you're lengthening your spine. You're pressing away from the ground and you're dropping your chest towards your thighs. Good. Now start to walk your hands to the back of the mat until you get all the way into a forward fold. You want your feet as wide as the mat. And bend your knees a lot. Then grab onto your elbows, or you can just let your arms hang. And we would call this ragdoll. Just kind of rock side to side. Let your head relax completely. Don't worry about looking up at the screen right now. Just relax your head. Maybe shake off any stress or tension that has built in the neck and the shoulders. This is good for the low back and the hamstrings as well. Then release your hands down to the ground. Stay on your fingertips, and as you bend your knees more, lift your chest up so you're like in a low squat. And then re-straighten the legs. Let's do that a few more times. Bend, open your chest, shine your heart forward, and straighten the legs. Fold. Again, bend the knees, open the heart, straighten the legs, and fold. It's okay if your knees are bent when you're trying to reach your hands to the ground in your fold. Give yourself permission to be new and to be willing to open your body. But in the beginning, things might feel a little tight, and that's okay. Now we're going to stand all the way up. So root down through your feet, slowly rise all the way up. When you get to the top, you roll the shoulders back and down, and you stand tall at the back of your mat. Take your feet right underneath your hip bones. So locate your hip bones with your hands. And it's right at the front of the hip, the bony protrusion. And right beneath that is where your heels are. So that's kind of hip distance. That's how we measure hip distance. Then reach your arms up to the sky. And then take your right hand down by your side and take your left arm up and over for a nice side bend. Reach both arms up. Inhale. Exhale, side bend to the left by bringing your left arm down. Rise back up, reach your arms up. Pause here and make your body like a pillar between the earth and the sky. Nice and straight and strong. Let's take an inhale. We're still at the back of the mat. Exhale, release your hands to the ground as you fold all the way down. And then walk your hands all the way back out to a plank like we did a couple minutes ago. From plank, set your knees down to the ground. So we're in a modified plank. And keep your core nice and engaged. And keep gazing, look at the front of your mat rather than letting your head drop down. Good. We're going to lower all the way down to the ground as you keep your gaze at the front of your mat. Slowly lower, keep your elbows kind of in towards your body. And then go all the way down. Keep your hands under your shoulders and lift your chest away from the ground for cobra pose. Roll the shoulders back and down. If you're comfortable with going higher, you can. But what I want you to avoid is doing this, where your shoulders are up into your ears and you're kind of going forward, because that's not a back bend, and we are going for a back bend here. So I want you to roll the shoulders down your back and open up through that heart center. Take an inhale. Exhale, lower back down to the ground. Then tuck your toes and press your way back up to downward facing dog. So lift your hips. Take a breath in and breath out. Now walk your feet up to your hands. When you get to the front of the mat, put your hands on your shins, right under your knees, and lengthen your spine into a half lift as you roll the shoulders down your back. Imagine I could come place a plate of food on your back and eat dinner off of your back. So really flat back by kind of sticking the butt back and then shifting your weight into your toes a little bit. See how that feels. You'll probably feel it a lot more in the hamstrings. Your neck is long, so you're just gazing down at the front of your mat. Take an inhale. Exhale, fold by just rounding a little into the spine. Rounding is not the best word. Relaxing and going down. And then press down through your feet and stand and reach your arms all the way up. Bring your hands to your heart center, into prayer. Thank yourself for showing up on your mat today. That's the hardest part, is showing up. And let's keep going. Arms down by your sides. Stand tall and reach your arms up to the sky. Take a big inhale. As you exhale, take your arms wide and down and fold down to the ground. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, step your left foot back behind you into a low lunge. Pause here, you're on your fingertips, your spine is long. And you kind of take a moment to shift forwards and backwards and feel how the weight moves between the feet. You want to make sure you're in a nice long lunge. If your back leg isn't far back enough, you might feel a little rounded and uncomfortable. So get it far back there. And then plant down through your left hand and reach your right arm up so we're in a twist. This is so good for the spine. Twists are so nice. Reach your arm up high so it feels like you're growing from the earth. You're not collapsing. We're growing, we're expanding. Inhale. Exhale, put your hand back down to the ground and put your back knee down onto the ground. Good. Untuck your back toes. And again, you're up onto your fingertips. Then straighten out your right leg for half splits. And it's okay. You might feel really rounded here. You might feel like your hands aren't on the ground. Do your best here. Do your best. And I promise you it will get more easeful the more you practice. Try to flex your right foot. You might even slide the heel forward a little bit. And draw the toes towards your shin. Flex your foot. And we'll take a couple breaths here. And then bend your knee, come back into low lunge. The way we started. Lift your back knee and step to the front of the mat. Lift up halfway, again, hands on your shins, nice flat back. And then place your hands back onto the ground, step your right foot back all the way into a low lunge. Your fingertips are supporting you on the ground, and start to shift your weight forwards and backwards. Forwards and backwards. And now we'll set the right palm onto the ground. Keep your back knee lifted and strong. Don't let it sag down. Lift your left arm up to the sky. So you're twisting, open. Everything is nice and strong, especially your right thigh. Take another inhale here. Exhale, put your left hand onto the ground. Put your right knee onto the ground. Untuck your toes. And then shift your hips back to straighten your left leg. Now, when you do this, you'll probably have to slide your left heel forward an inch or two, or pick it up and move it forward. So that way your right hip is right over your right knee. Flex your left toes back. Breathe. Just notice what comes up. What's coming up in your body? Where are you feeling this? Let's take another breath. In and out. Bend your knee, come back into lunge. Lift your back knee off of the ground and step to the front of the mat. Halfway lift, remember, hands on shins, flat back. Fold forward. Stand up, reach your arms up, and bring your hands to your heart and arms down by your sides. And hands on your hips. Step your left leg all the way back into high lunge. So it should look like your legs are pretty wide apart from each other, long on your mat, and reach your arms up to the sky. Take an inhale here. Exhale, take your arms back and shift forward. Let's do it again. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, arms back, shift forward. One more time. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, arms back, shift forward. Inhale, reach the arms up. Take your arms into a cactus now, so like goalpost arms. And feel that openness of the front of the chest. Good. Reach your arms back up to the sky. We're going to open up to warrior two here. So you're going to put your back heel down and take your arms wide. Your hips are facing the left side of the mat. Put your hands on your hips for a second, just so we can check in with the feet. And your front heel is in line with kind of the arch of the back foot. I conveniently have a line right in the center of my mat. So you can imagine you have one, or if you do have one, line it up like that. Bend into your right knee. Now extend your arms out wide and gaze over your right fingertips. Flip your right palm, so the right palm faces up. Put your left hand on the side of your left thigh. Rest it there. And then reach to the back of the mat, so you're in a side bend, reaching to the back of the mat. Right arm goes over your ear. Inhale. And on exhale, cartwheel your hands to the ground, so you're in low lunge. Put your back knee down on the ground. Reach your arms up to the sky. This is called Anjaneyasana. Shift your hips forward, get a nice big stretch. Inhale. Exhale, hands down to the ground. Step to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, stand, reach your arms up to the sky. Hands to your heart, exhale. Now put your hands on your hips again and step your right leg back to come into a high lunge. Take your time. Now if you feel like you're wobbling, just take your right foot to the right a little more and your left foot to the left, so you have a wider stance. That wider stance will give you a better base of support to feel balanced. Reach your arms up to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, arms go back and you shift forward. Airplane arms. Inhale, reach it back up, sweep it up. Exhale, arms back, shift forward. Inhale, sweep it up. Imagine like you're moving through water. And again, arms back, shift forward. Inhale, reach your arms up, cactus your arms. Open that chest. Reach the arms back up. And now we're going to open to warrior two. So from here, open up to the right side of the mat. Put your hands on your hips. Check in with your feet. You want your left heel lined up with the arch of your back foot. Your back toes are slightly angled inwards towards the front of the mat. And then bend into your left knee and take your arms wide. Gaze over your left fingertips. Feel like a warrior in warrior two. Now flip your left palm and put your right hand on your outer right thigh and reverse warrior by reaching to the back of your mat. Inhale. Exhale, cartwheel your hands to the ground, low lunge. Put your back knee on the ground and reach your arms up. Do the best you can. Take an inhale. Exhale, hands down to the ground. Lift your back knee and step this time to down dog. So left foot goes back to meet the right foot, downward facing dog. We're taking one more breath here. Press your hands into the ground. Lift your hips up. Remember, bent knees. Relax your head. And then set your knees on the ground. And we'll come into a seat. So you want to shift so that your legs are out in front of you. And we'll come all the way down onto our backs. So from the seat, you lay down onto your back and you bend your knees. So your feet are flat on the ground. Your knees point to the sky. And then cross your right ankle over your left thigh for figure four. Pick your left foot up off the ground and wrap your hands around the back of the left thigh. So your right hand goes through the hole in between your left leg and your right leg. It's this triangle. And left hand goes from the outside. And you interlace your hands and pull the leg towards you and push your right knee away from you. Notice what it feels like to be laying on the ground now. We really shifted our orientation from doing and being upright. And now we're flat on our backs. And it usually feels really good to arrive here. Let's take one more breath. Now release your hands, put your left foot down, uncross those legs, cross the left ankle over your right thigh. And then lift your right foot up and grab the back of your right thigh. So remember, left hand goes through this triangle that you've created. And then pull towards you. And at the same time, actively push your left knee away from you. So you're not putting your hand on your knee to push it. You're just using the strength of your left thigh to push outwards while you're pulling in. Couple breaths. Now release your hands, uncross your legs, and release your foot down. And bring your feet together and your knees wide. And this might feel really intense for you, and that's okay if it feels like a big stretch. See if you can just breathe into it. If you feel any pain, then please skip it. Any time in yoga, when you're feeling actual pain or discomfort that is harming you, then it's never worth it to push through. Because yoga is supposed to make us feel good and supposed to benefit us. So keep that in mind as you embark further on your yoga journey. You can place your hands on your belly. Relax the muscles of the face, the tissue of the face. Then gently bring your knees back up. And hug both knees into your chest. Give them a nice little squeeze. Rock a little side to side. And release your legs all the way down to the ground, arms down by your sides. So you're in Shavasana, so the whole body is just resting. And take a deep breath in, fill up the belly. And out of the mouth, let it all go. Exhale. And close your lips and breathe in and out of the nose if possible. And feel yourself relaxing and letting go. The physical work is done. Now the body can rest. But the mind is still aware and awake. We just focus on the in and out breath. We'll just take a couple more moments here in silence and stillness. Notice how it feels to be still. And begin to start to wiggle your fingers and toes really gently. And start to bring more movement into your wrists and your ankles. And reach your arms overhead and stretch it out. Make your way onto one side. And gently press yourself up to a seat. Once you get to the seat, bring your hands together at your heart. And we will bow in gratitude together for this practice. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm glad that you are here on the beginning of your yoga journey. Trust me, it gets so much easier as you begin to open up your body and learn the movements of yoga. So stick with it. It's always so worth it. And if you enjoyed this class, let me know in the comments before. If you would like to see more beginner classes from me, let me know. And if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button so we can keep practicing together. All right, I'll see you next time.